Like a reel cut mid-frame, Christian Oliver's story ended too soon, lost in a plane crash off Beckwith's coast. As Brian Keller in Saved by the Bell, the new class, he brought charisma to teen television. His legacy lives in every scene that captured his charm, grace, and cross-continental appeal. Detective Hutch from Starsky and Hutch once patrolled TV streets with steady grit. Now, his memory patrols ours. David Soul, whose voice and presence span music and film, helped define 1970s cool. From Chicago roots to London's farewell, his influence echoes in pop culture's permanent soundtrack. In Designated Survivor and The Cleaning Lady, Adon Kanto revealed vulnerability wrapped in strength. After a private battle with appendiceal cancer, his rising arc was stilled. Yet his performances remain electric, sparks of a talent that bridged borders and hearts with authenticity and quiet power. Once lit up daytime television with enduring charm as Doug Williams on Days of Our Lives, now his absence lingers like a scene that ends too soon. A crooner turned soap legend, his career spanned decades, redefining daytime drama with warmth, resilience, and song until his passing at 98. Like a vintage sitcom rerun, her presence as Trixie Norton in The Honeymooners still draws smiles across generations. As the last surviving cast member, Joyce brought comedic timing and grace to 1950s TV, leaving behind a legacy of laughter after her passing at 99 under hospice care. A beauty queen turned screen performer, she once walked red carpets with confidence and starred in Entourage with quiet allure. Michelle LaFrance's journey from Miss Connecticut USA to actress inspired many. Her story, though cut short at 45, now lives on in the roles and hearts she touched. His face graced cult classics and sci-fi screens, but as the Lev in Star Trek, the original series, William O'Connell earned a place in fandom's cosmos. From 1960s character roles to eternal convention lore, he proved that even supporting players can leave footprints deep in the galaxy of television. He once stood between species and justice as Detective Sykes in Alien Nation and Ambassador Soville in Star Trek Enterprise. Gary Graham passed from cardiac arrest, but left behind characters forged in nuance and defiance, roles that shaped the DNA of sci-fi's emotional and political depth. Apollo Creed didn't just fight Rocky. He defined cinematic intensity. Carl Weathers, who died from cardiovascular disease, punched through typecasting to shine in Predator, The Mandalorian, and beyond. His power wasn't just physical. It was presence, pride, and a fierce devotion to character. Once a breakout star opposite Marilyn Monroe in Bus Stop, Don Murray earned an Oscar nod that launched a lifetime of nuanced storytelling. From Advise and Consent to Twin Peaks, he balanced charisma with quiet strength. In passing, he leaves behind a blueprint for subtle, enduring screen excellence. Before we continue these amazing celebrity transformations, here's a quick challenge for you. Can you subscribe to Then vs. Now Legends in the next 5 seconds? Smash that subscribe button and join us on this journey through time with your favorite stars. In Slapshot, Paul D'Amato's portrayal of Goon Tim, Dr. Hook McCracken, became pure cult legend, equal parts menace and mirth. After a fight with progressive supranuclear palsy, he exits the rink of life, but his rough and ready energy still roars from screens where rebels skate eternal. As Miss Moneypenny in Never Say Never Again, a time lady in Doctor Who, Pamela Salem brought elegance to espionage and sci-fi alike. Born in Bombay, her voice, presence, and poise spanned continents and genres, now folded into the mythos of franchises that never truly say goodbye. Fred Elliott, a booming voice fans of Coronation Street will forever cherish. John Savidan's larger-than-life portrayal blended comedy with depth, anchoring British soap lore for over a decade. His theatrical roots and powerful stage presence now echo across screens, even as his curtain quietly fell at 86. Like a starship captain steering through adversity, Kenneth Mitchell faced LS with courage, never retreating from his craft. Known for transformative roles in Star Trek Discovery and Captain Marvel, he redefined strength on and off screen, his story etched in sci-fi history after his passing at 49. Remember when Captain Need bowed before Darth Vader's wrath? Michael Culver turned even brief roles into unforgettable moments. With a career spanning The Empire Strikes Back to British classics, he lent gravitas to every frame. Now cinema salutes a craftsman whose legacy is forever in the canon. Neurotic brilliance made him a stand-up icon, but on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Richard Lewis turned anxiety into art. With a whip-smart wit and signature black garb, he rewrote the rules of confessional comedy. His heart failed, but his fearless humor pulses through every awkward, unforgettable beat. As Terry Brock on General Hospital, Robin Bernard lit up daytime TV with layers of drama and vulnerability. From small-town Texas to soap opera stardom, her presence felt intimate yet iconic. Though she left the screen long ago, her performances remain stitched into the fabric of 80s television. A master of moral ambiguity, Emmett Walsh could steal scenes with a glance. From Blade Runner to Blood Simple, his gravelly delivery and presence define noir's modern edge. After 50 years on screen, Cardiac Arrest's still the man, but his rogue gallery of roles remains gloriously alive. Remember his stoic bravery on Planet of the Apes, or his adventures through time and Land of the Lost? Ron Harper brought intelligence and gravitas to sci-fi television's golden era. His screen legacy, spanning decades of daring roles, now lives on beyond the frontier of his final journey at 91. Like a bridge between old Hollywood and German television, Fritz Wepper's charisma spanned continents, from Cabaret's political stage to Derek's detective dramas. A fixture of post-war European cinema, his nuanced portrayals shaped generations. At 82, his cinematic imprint endures far beyond the final frame. Like a character actor who never broke the spell, Adrian Schiller added weight to every scene, from the royal courts of Victoria to the grit of the Last Kingdom. His sudden passing at 60 silenced a quietly brilliant presence, but his performances remained stitched into Britain's storytelling fabric. A steady presence in Star Trek and Medical Center, Barbara Baldwin brought warmth and poise to roles that grounded fantastical worlds. Passing at 85 from congestive heart failure, she leaves behind a legacy of resilience, quiet but powerful, like the supporting characters she portrayed so well. She outran aliens in It Came from Outer Space and commanded soap operas like Peyton Place. Barbara Rush redefined glamour with grit. At 97, she closed a nearly century-long career in elegance. Her name now joins the Silver Age pantheon she once helped build with grace, style, and science fiction. He ruled as King Theoden in The Lord of the Rings and met fate aboard Titanic as Captain Smith. Bernard Hill's gravitas gave myth and history equal weight. At 79, he departs, but the echoes of his speeches, rallying Rohirrim or braving icy waters, resound in cinema's hall of immortal voices. From the intense corridors of Line of Duty to the rugged soul of Scottish theatre, Brian McCarty infused every role with fire and truth. His sudden passing at 59 from an aortic dissection left storytelling dimmer, but the fierce humanity he brought on screen will echo far beyond the credits. A rising star extinguished far too early, Chance Perdomo brought magnetic depth to Gen V and chilling adventures of Sabrina. His fearless energy and quiet vulnerability captured a new generation. Now at 27, his legacy stands as a promise of brilliance the screen won't forget. Like a master of controlled chaos, Dabney Coleman turned arrogance into art. From 9 to 5 to Tootsie, he redefined the comic antagonist. With over 6 decades of biting brilliance, he passed at 92, leaving behind a satirical legacy few could match and none could replicate. In Westworld and Playing for Keeps, Emily Summers brought intensity to fleeting roles, proof that even brief performances can resonate. She died at 38 from a rare carcinoma, yet her presence lingered longer than screen time. Her legacy? A reminder that impact isn't measured in minutes, but meaning. As Super Gran, Gudrun Ure soared across rooftops and imaginations, embodying a superhero with spectacles and sass. At 98, she leaves behind not just a show, but a symbol, proof that courage and kindness don't retire with age. Generations of children still carry her fearless laughter forward. In Game of Thrones, Ian Gelder portrayed Kevin Lannister with poise and gravitas, an actor of classical roots and quiet might. After a battle with bile duct cancer, he exits the stage at 74, but not without shaping British theatre and screen with roles carved in discipline, subtlety, and truth. From SCTV's satirical brilliance to the cult charm of Freaks and Geeks, Joe Flaherty made eccentricity feel endearing. A master of deadpan timing, he shaped comedy across generations. After a brief illness, he passed at 82, yet his laughter lives on in every quirky character he created. Like a thunderclap of gravitas, Louis Gossett Jr. commanded screens in An Officer and a Gentleman, earning an Oscar and rewriting Hollywood norms. From civil rights to stagecraft, he championed integrity in art. At 87, his voice may be quieted, but its resonance is immortal. A 1960s icon of European genre cinema, Margaret Lee blended sultry glamour with comic verve in films like Maciste Contro, I Most Try. Her presence lit up Italian screens, forever part of pop culture's golden age. She passed at 80, but her image remains eternally flickering in film lore. He thrilled audiences in House of Usher before shaping global cinema behind the scenes. Mark Damon, who passed at 91 from natural causes, lived two Hollywood lives, matinee idol and visionary producer. His legacy spans decades and genres, a bridge from gothic screens to international blockbusters. As Dina Murdron on The Young and the Restless, Marla Adams delivered heartbreak with elegance, earning a Daytime Emmy late in life. Passing at 85, she leaves a legacy steeped in soap opera royalty, proof that even long-running characters can still surprise us with depth, grace, and final truths. Behind and in front of the camera, Meg Bennett shaped The Young and the Restless with wit and wisdom, an actress and writer whose pen and presence enriched daytime drama. She died at 75 after a fight with cancer, but her words and characters endure, living on through every well-turned script. In Battlestar Galactica, he brought Colonel Tide to life with calm authority and quiet strength. On screen and behind the scenes, Terry Carter championed diversity and storytelling. At 95, the trail he blazed in sci-fi and civil rights remains vivid, a legacy light years beyond his final orbit. Roaring through Scottish cinema in Restless Natives, Vincent Friel embodied youthful rebellion and wit. His charisma made him a cult favorite, etching charm into every frame. At 64, his passing reminds us that some performances like his never fade, they just become part of local legend. As the uncanny mirror of Queen Elizabeth II, Jeanette Charles turned resemblance into a storied career. From comedies to cameos, she played royalty with regal flair. At 96, her legacy isn't just in likeness, but in the joy she sparked as fiction's most beloved monarch. From Golden Age musicals to Broadway acclaim, Janice Page dazzled with voice and verve. In The Pajama Game and beyond, she brought elegance to every era. At 101, she exited naturally, but her century of song, sass, and showbiz spark lives on in every curtain call she once commanded. Her voice was a whisper that shaped a generation. With poetic restraint and aching melodies, Françoise Hardy made French pop immortal. Lost to laryngeal cancer at 80, her silences now sing. She gave romance its soundtrack, and in doing so became part of love's cultural memory. With a glance, she could change a scene. In La Dolce Vita and A Man and a Woman, Anouk Aimée embodied cinematic allure, enigmatic, magnetic, unforgettable. Passing at 92, she leaves behind a trail of elegance through European film, where mystery and melancholy met in her gaze. A master of subtle intensity, Donald Sutherland shaped cinema's soul. From Ash Asterisk to Ordinary People, his range defied convention. With over 200 credits, he wove humanity into every role. Passing at 88 from COPD, his legacy is not just vast. It's deeply embedded in film's emotional DNA. With wise eyes and steady grace, Bill Cobbs enriched films like The Bodyguard and Night at the Museum. A late-blooming icon of character acting, he brought soulful dignity to every role. At 90, he leaves behind decades of quiet brilliance that still ripple through Hollywood's heart. From Clue's dry chaos to Roseanne's sardonic wit, Martin Mull blurred the line between absurdity and intellect. Comedian, painter, musician, he was a Renaissance man of pop satire. After a long illness, he passed at 80, leaving a legacy as vibrant and offbeat as his punchlines. She was fierce, flawed, unforgettable, Brenda Walsh in 90210, a Gen X icon. After a long battle with cancer, Shannon Doherty leaves behind more than headlines. She gave complexity to teen drama and courage to real-life struggle. Her roles, like her spirit, remain raw, real, and deeply resonant. Her wide eyes mirrored madness, wonder, and truth. From The Shining to Popeye, Shelley Duvall embodied vulnerability with eerie grace. Lost to complications of diabetes, she remains cinema's most haunting muse, a performer who never looked away, and dared audiences not to either. With cold elegance and hypnotic silence, Alain Delon redefined screen magnetism in Purple Noon and Le Samouraï. French cinema's enigmatic jewel died at 88, but his legacy lingers in every slow burn, every stylish assassin, proof that charisma can be as lethal as it is eternal. Like a cathedral in motion, Dame Maggie Smith brought nobility to every role, from the prime of Miss Jean Brodie to Downton Abbey's indelible Dowager Countess. A two-time Oscar winner, her passing at 89 closes a chapter in British acting, yet her voice still echoes in every great line. Best remembered as the doomed Rob in Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and as a steady TV guest star, Eric Anderson's quiet versatility left a lasting mark. After battling esophageal cancer, he passed at 67, his face familiar, his craft subtle, and his work never overstated. Once a sumo wrestler, always a gentle giant on screen, Taylor Wiley turned heads in Hawaii 5-0 as the beloved Kamakona. His warmth transcended genre, making crime drama feel like family. Passing at 56, his smile now belongs to memory, but his presence remains unmistakably island-strong. As Lieutenant Howard Hunter on Hill Street Blues, James Sicking made order and absurdity collide with precision. After a quiet struggle with dementia, he passed at 90, but his voice still echoes in the precincts of television history, where layered characters and sharp delivery rewrote cop drama forever. In Spandex and Sincerity, Richard Simmons turned fitness into a revolution. With sweat, sparkle, and empathy, he reshaped how America moved and felt. Dying at 76 from complications of falls and heart disease, he leaves behind more than routines. He leaves joy as legacy and movement as medicine. With a stammer and a straight face, Bob Newhart built comedic timing into an art form. From the Bob Newhart Show to stand-up history, he let silence do the talking. At 94, he died of natural causes, but his pauses, punchlines, and poker-face brilliance are now part of comedy's permanent code. Like a brushstroke on raw canvas, Gina Rowlands gave emotion a face. From A Woman Under the Influence to The Notebook, her performances cracked hearts wide open. After a long battle with Alzheimer's, she passed at 94, leaving behind a fearless legacy stitched into independent cinema's soul. A guiding force both on and off screen, Betty A. Bridges shaped lives through teaching and motherhood, most notably guiding son Todd on Different Strokes. Her own TV roles reflected quiet strength. At 83, passing in hospice care, she leaves behind a lineage of heart, talent, and resilience. His voice was thunder wrapped in velvet, Star Wars Darth Vader, The Lion King's Mufasa, stage titan of Fences and Othello. James Earl Jones reshaped how the world hears power. Passing at 93, he leaves not just roles, but a resonant force echoing across generations. She starred beside Sinatra, married Bing, and charmed through Hollywood's golden twilight. Catherine Crosby, remembered from The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad and beyond, passed at 90 from natural causes. Her grace moved between screen and stage, echoing an era where elegance was always center frame. In Return to Witch Mountain, Christian Jutner played with wonder and danger, embodying 1970s youth adventure. He left us at 79 of natural causes, largely out of the spotlight, but those who grew up with Disney magic still remember him, frozen in time as a boy racing toward mystery. She stood tall in Enchanted April, but Dame Joan Plowright's legacy is far grander. An Olivia, yes, but a force of her own. From West End brilliance to film grace, she shaped English drama for decades. Passing at 95, she leaves behind generations of actors molded by her presence and power. From the French Connection's gritty streets to the haunted soul of Unforgiven, Gene Hackman redefined American masculinity with depth and grit. A two-time Oscar winner, he stepped away from acting but never from greatness. Passing at 95 from heart disease, his influence remains stitched into cinema's DNA. As Forest Ranger Bob Erickson on Lassie, Jack DeMay brought calm strength to American family TV. With appearances on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and more, he shaped television's golden era. After a heart attack, he passed at 91, his work a gentle echo from a gentler time. From sparring lovingly with Elvis and King Creole to lighting up 1950s television, Jan Shepard blended warmth and star power. Her legacy spans both big screens and vintage living rooms. Passing at 96, she remains a timeless image of Hollywood's golden glow and enduring spirit. Once pierced the screen as Rafterman in Full Metal Jacket, capturing the chaos and clarity of war. Now, after respiratory complications at 69, he's silenced, but never erased. His intense gaze and raw edge carved a place in film history that generations of actors still study. Like a burst of confetti on a gray day, Lynn Marie Stewart brought whimsy to life as Miss Yvonne in Pee-wee's Playhouse. After a private fight with cancer, she passed at 78, but her vibrant spirit still pirouettes through comedy's DNA, reminding us weird can also be wonderful. From Gypsy's Broadway lights to Sweeney Todd's chilling ballads, Merle Louise shaped musical theater's golden spine. Gone at 90 in her native New York, her voice lingers like overture notes, eternal, defiant, and full of grace across every revival and original cast memory. Like a spotlight that never dimmed, Mitzi Gaynor danced through Hollywood's golden era, her turn in South Pacific forever radiant. Passing peacefully at 93, she leaves behind a Technicolor legacy, sequined with song, laughter, and the kind of charisma you just can't teach. Remember his steely glare in The Long Good Friday, or grit in Lock, Stock. At 86, Paul Hugh Moriarty exits stage left, but his imprint on British crime cinema endures, raw, relentless, unforgettable. A master of menace who gave London's underworld its most vivid face. Brought muscle and mirth to Street Fighter and Necessary Roughness, now stilled at 61 by heart complications. Yet Peter Navy Tiasasopo's force remains, in every grin, every tackle, every punchline he delivered. A gentle giant whose presence still echoes on screen. Once brought levity to Cheers and charmed millions in M&M's commercials, now quieted by dementia and strokes at 79. Robert McCrae's blend of wit and warmth became part of TV's familiar rhythm. His subtle genius remains stitched into every laugh track and late rerun. In Young Frankenstein and Tootsie, Terry Garr redefined comedic timing with elegance and bite. At 80, she leaves behind a reel of sharp wit and lovable chaos. Her performances didn't just entertain, they inspired a generation of women to embrace fearless, funny brilliance. Remember his gripping turns in Die Hard 2 and A Soldier's Story? Art Evans brought soul and steel to every frame. Passing at 82 from diabetes complications, he leaves behind a body of work that told truths, held weight, and gave voice to stories Hollywood once ignored. As George and Mildred, Brian Murphy captured the quirks of British sitcom life with effortless charm. At 92, his legacy remains baked into TV history, a reminder of when humor came from heart, not hype, and sitcoms brought neighbors and nations together. Like a well-worn yearbook photo, John Lawler's steady presence and the facts of life in Phyllis held classroom calm and fatherly warmth. Passing at 83 in a veteran's hospice, his legacy endures, in every role where wisdom, dignity, and quiet strength were needed. Once a dashing foil in Annie Hall and a neurotic heart in Play It Again, Sam, Tony Roberts faced lung cancer's toll at 85. But his urbane rhythm and Broadway soul still echo, each performance a toast to intellect, wit, and the elegant ache of New York storytelling. Then versus Now Legends is feeling a bit lonely. 99% of you haven't subscribed yet. Show us some love and hit that subscribe button so we can keep bringing you the jaw-dropping journeys of your favorite stars. And if you're as fascinated by then and now glow-ups as we are, check out our previous videos. Trust us, they're totally worth your time and ours too.